I see him all the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go say, hey. Or maybe you even see him by and say, hey, how you doing? Just as you're walking by. And that little bit of speaking opens the door to say, let me
There you go.
Yeah.
never know conversation. Let me build this wall a little bit better.
You never know. And
So
it becomes a ripple effect.
Exactly.
You know, a ripple effect. And you just think about the ocean, you know, the ripple, that if you make this big splash and it just ripples all the way across, it can go for miles.
Yeah.
And so just by you engaging with this man and that man, and before you know it, now he's talking to another man.
Exactly.
And that word is continuing, you know, and we're building one another toward this thing. Because like we mentioned, we're talking Nehemiah 4. Man, they didn't just get out there and build the wall. They were faced with a lot of opposition.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening in the communities.
Exactly.
There's a lot of opposition that want that community to stay just like it is, because there are some bad things going on there in that neighborhood, and a lot of people are benefiting and profiting from it, except the people that lives in the community.
Exactly.
And so that's why, you know, I always ask the question. I can be watching the news. My wife and I, we love watching the news and things like that. Before we go to bed, when we wake up in the morning and things, I just like to know what's going on around me, in my community, in the world, in that sense. So my question becomes, every time I see these young people out here doing things, is where are the men?
Yeah.
Where are the men? Not just the fathers, because we understand that the mother and father may not be together. But where are the men? That child got a grandfather.
Yeah.
That young man has an uncle or some man that should step in and mentor, train that young man, you know, show him the way. And we probably wouldn't see all the stuff in the communities that we see.
Agreed.
So we sit here today and we got these shirts on, men stand up, right?
Amen.
Men and his be led, you know. And that's what we are trying to do here, you know. So we're calling for the husbands, the fathers, the grandfathers, you know, those uncles, the men of God, you know, to let's be mentors to these young men. They need it.
Agreed.
They need that. And I'm pretty sure, y'all know me, I like to throw in a little story behind it. You guys, do you all remember the 1991 movie New Jack City?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. One of my all-time favorites. Now, remember when old Nino Brown, remember when he and his gang, they went and took over the Carter?
Yep.
Took over that community, right? And for you that may be looking partly cloudy, that don't know what we're talking about up here, the Carter was a large Harlem apartment building that Nino and his gang went in, and man, we saw, you remember, killing people on the streets, you know, the person that ran the facility, the whole night, they took over. And they turned that Carter, that building, into their headquarters, their production site, their distribution site of all of their drugs. And back then, it was the crack epidemic. And so that's what's happening to a lot of our neighborhoods. And it may not just be the drugs, but the crime and the corruption, just so much. People are afraid to come out of their own homes and things like that because so much is going on. But I don't know about you guys. I was born at the end of the baby boom stage. Me and you, Deacon Keith, you know.
Gen X.
So the baby boomers ended in 1964. That's the year I was born. And I think you were a year before me. And so I grew up in a time where men, they didn't have to be your dad or your uncle or your father. You're in that neighborhood. Guess what? You're going to walk upright. Because if you did not, guess what? That man is going to call you to the side and he's going to put you in check. Because he already know your dad, he know your uncles, he know your entire family.
Exactly.
And you won't go dare talk back to him or do anything out of place. Because they will put them hands on you and then they will take you home and deliver you to your parent.
And you get that
and tell their parent exactly what you did and what they did. And the parent was going to side with that adult. Yes, sir, because you're going to get it again. So the bottom line is that our communities, they need men that are united. Clean up our neighborhoods. get the drugs, get the crime. We can't expect for law enforcement
Exactly.
to do all of this
Exactly.
by themselves.